Losing is just a part of life, but for the 2024 Chicago White Sox, losing became a culture. The team lost a record 121 games, and now there's apparently a perfectly logical explanation for their struggles. They were cursed. But then there's what the Pima men's basketball team did to UTU Academy yesterday. The Aztecs beat the Gorillas 150-51. They nearly tripled their opponent's score. The National Hockey League has a new all-time leading goal scorer in 39-year-old Alexander Ovechkin. Maya Eaglin has more on the dramatic moment and the emotional celebration. Maybe even some robot kickboxing? Yeah, that's right. These two guys right here that you see behind me, they were part of a special exhibition at a robotics event in China. There were some conflicting reports. Someone on a radio show said that Leo was a big-time Cubs fan. Meanwhile, more likely source, Pope Leo's brother, John Prevost, sharing with WGN Chicago that he's actually for the White Sox. Let's take a look at your sports headlines this morning. The Phoenix Suns have parted ways with veteran coach Mike Budenholzer following what some are calling a dismal first season. The Suns made the announcement on Monday, one day after the franchise finished with a 36-46 record, ouch, which put them 11th in the Western Conference. They lost 9 of their last 10 games, failing to qualify for the play-in tournament. 55-year-old Budenholzer was hired in May, replacing Frank Vogel, who also had a one-year tenure. Budenholzer's departure likely signifies major upcoming roster upheaval for a team that's underachieved for 3 straight seasons. The WNBA draft got underway on Monday, and University of Connecticut guard Paige Beckers was the #1 overall pick. She will be packing her bags and heading off to Dallas to play for the Wings. The draft comes just a week after UConn won the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. The Huskies beat the University of South Carolina 82-59. It marked the 12th women's basketball title for the school and Beckers' first championship with UConn. She becomes the 6th UConn player selected #1 overall in the WNBA draft. The new season kicks off next month. One team that did not have any big headlines in the draft was the Phoenix Mercury, our team here, because they didn't draft a single player. It was a result of a series of trades over the past year aimed at reshaping the franchise around a new core. Phoenix originally held the #7 overall pick after finishing with one of the league's worst records in 2024. But because of a previous trade with the New York Liberty, they were given the #12 pick, which they then traded along with their second-round pick for 4 more players. Head coach Nate Tibbetts says that the team is moving towards established veteran talent and said, quote, "The rebuild is over. It's time to win." Arizona baseball will be back at High Corbett Field today, hosting a rematch against Grand Canyon in a midweek non-conference game. The Wildcats go into the non-conference tilt on a 2-game win streak, having taken their series against Oklahoma State over the weekend. The Grand Canyon Antelopes were also home last weekend, but dropped the conference series to Utah Valley. Arizona looks to even the series against Grand Canyon, who took the first of 3 games on April 1st. First pitch is set for tonight at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Arizona softball run-ruled Kansas in the final game of the series, 11-1 in 5 innings to sweep that series. Some domination there. Arizona played 11 runs on 12 hits with Reagan Shockey and Devin Netz having hit home runs there. Netz led the team with 3 RBI, while Sydney Stewart and Paige Dimmler were both driving in runs, 2 runs each. Arizona returns home to host Texas Tech beginning on Thursday at 5 p.m. at Hillenbrand Stadium.
Current and future FBI agents have to maintain strong fitness, right? And to make sure all their employees are keeping up, state offices put those agents through a fitness exam every single year.
Yeah, I don't think it was an easy one.
No.
The FBI offices in Phoenix and Tucson invited members of the media to try this test out for themselves to see what it takes to be an agent. And Tucson Today anchor Robbie Reynold answered the call.
The FBI fitness test has 4 phases: a 1-minute sit-up test, a 300-yard sprint, a push-up test, and a 1.5-mile run. Applicants only get 5 minutes of rest between each exercise. Those are the exact rules for me. Let's see if I have what it takes.
And begin. because we investigate and we handle all sorts of matters dealing with national security, criminal nature, stuff like that. So it does require us to be, physical, where we may actually have to chase someone down. We actually may have to put hands on somebody.
I think the hardest part is putting everything together. I think at first you're like, well, 5 minutes is a really long time, and then you do a sprint and you're like, wow, 5 minutes, I didn't recover at all.
Great job, Robbie. You're going to be just doing that last lap. 10:25. Great job. You have an overall 11 points. And then for anybody right now going through the academy starting next week, they would have to get 9 points in order to kind of advance into the process. And so by your 11 points, you'd be a shoo-in. So, yeah.
All FBI agents have to be able to pass this test once a year, no matter their experience level. Agents tell me physical fitness is critical to their success. Robbie Reynold, News 4 Tucson.
And if you are interested in joining the FBI, this is the same test you will need to pass. Here are Robbie's scores to give you an idea of how those points are totaled.
And Robbie is a competitive triathlete, and he did well in the running events, which gave him that passing score. However, apparently Robbie needs to hit the gym and work on that upper body strength. He got 0 points for push-ups, only 21. Come on, Robbie.
Looked like those push-ups weren't bad either.
Yeah, well, he's got a fallback,
Looks,
yeah, an FBI agent.
That's true.
Coming up.
The Winter Olympics are officially underway. It's time for us here at Tucson Today to give winter sports the old college try. For my co-anchor Robbie Reynold, that meant heading north to find a hidden gem in Arizona.
I'm Robbie Reynold for Tucson Today. Go to the Winter Olympics. I'm here at the Arizona Nordic Center in Flagstaff, Arizona, where we're going to learn all about cross-country skiing.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. Like you're always trying to find the way that's going to be the most effective. Like you're tailoring your lesson to who folks are and what they need at a specific time.
Nordic skiing is the use of skis to quickly navigate snowy terrain. It's been an Olympic sport since the first Winter Games in 1924. Despite Arizona's hot weather and mostly desert environment, the employees of the Arizona Nordic Center work to create skiable trails.
The ski community is unique here because of the fact that this is where you get to ski in this whole section, like Arizona, the lower section of Utah. So we're the closest skiing for many miles.
There are 2 types of cross-country skiing you'll see at the Olympics, classic and skate. There's no lifts in this sport. You have to go uphill and downhill.
You do have to be in good shape. It's a great workout. I think that's one of my favorite things too. I just think that it's a really unique way to get further into the trees and get out into the backcountry.
The Beijing Games will feature races at various distances, relays, and the sport of biathlon, which combines skiing with rifle shooting.
It's got some pretty great things, and watching skate skiing, people going fast, and it's great. It's really fun.
For Tucson Today, go to the Olympics. I'm Robbie Reynold, News 4 Tucson.
Robbie, I must say, you chopping that wood.
That was great, right?
That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
I know that was going to be your guys' favorite part. I want to thank the Arizona Nordic Village. They hosted me. It was tons of fun. Got to meet everybody out there. So it was a blast, yeah, and it was fun because, we don't have a lot of snow here in Tucson, if we ever get any at all. So moving up there to see some snow was great to take a little trip out there. So thanks again. It was a lot of fun to do that.
Well, it's one of those things where it looks really easy, but I'm sure it is very, very difficult to do, especially going uphill. I can't imagine having
And
yeah,
you filmed this yourself. Let's point that out.
Yeah,
That's
I did this
pretty
all
impressive.
myself. It was just me in a cabin up there in Flagstaff doing all this. And yeah, I saw the wood with the axe there, and I just couldn't resist. So that was my first attempt at the wood. And once I realized it wasn't going to work, I was like, I got my shot. That's good.
I'm glad that you didn't take down the camera when you were moving around.
All right, today's show is coming up next. We'll be back here tomorrow at 4:30. Have a great and